Imagine you're on site during a busy concrete pour. The concrete arrives looking a little stiff. The pump operator is keen to keep the placement moving, and someone says, "Let's just add a bucket of water." It sounds like a quick solution. But could that small decision shorten the life of the entire structure? Hello, and welcome to the GCO podcast. Today's episode explores why adding unauthorized water to concrete at the point of placement is one of the most common, and potentially most damaging, mistakes made on construction sites. We'll also discuss what inspectors should look for, and the practical steps that help prevent this problem. Concrete workability naturally changes with time. Delays in transport, warm weather, long pumping distances, and extended waiting periods can all make concrete appear stiffer than expected. When this happens, adding water may seem like the easiest solution because it immediately improves workability. The concrete becomes easier to pump, place, and finish. From a short-term perspective, everything appears to be back under control. The problem is that, while the workability improves immediately, the consequences remain within the concrete. Every liter of unauthorized water increases the water-to-cement ratio. That ratio is one of the most important factors controlling concrete performance. As it increases, strength can decrease, permeability can increase, shrinkage becomes greater, and long-term durability may be significantly reduced. In other words, the placement may become easier today, but the structure could pay the price for decades. In reality, slump is simply a measure of consistency at the time of testing. It tells us how workable the concrete is. It does not confirm that the original mix proportions remain unchanged, or that the concrete will achieve its intended strength and durability. That's an important distinction for every engineer, supervisor, and concrete inspector to understand. Let's consider a practical example. A suspended slab is being cast on a warm afternoon. Traffic delays mean the concrete arrives later than planned. By the time pumping begins, workability has already reduced. To speed up finishing, water is added directly into the truck. The slab is placed successfully. The finish looks good, and everyone leaves site satisfied. Several months later, however, excessive shrinkage cracking begins to appear. Investigations reveal that the concrete no longer achieves its intended performance because the water-to-cement ratio was increased during placement. The problem wasn't visible on the day of the pour, but it had already been built into the structure. So, what should a good concrete inspector do instead? Rather than asking how to make the concrete easier to place, start by asking why it has become difficult to place in the first place. In many cases, the best solution begins before the concrete arrives on site. Good coordination between the site team, the batching plant, and the concrete supplier can help maintain the required workability through proper delivery planning. Where longer transport or placement times are expected, the concrete mix should be designed accordingly, using approved admixtures such as retarders or workability-retaining admixtures where appropriate. If additional workability is genuinely required, it should only be achieved using approved procedures and authorized materials, in accordance with the project specifications. Unauthorized water should never become the solution of convenience. Never judge fresh concrete by appearance alone. Compare the delivery documentation with the actual delivery time. Check the concrete temperature. Review the fresh concrete test results, including slump where appropriate, and compare them with what you observed during placement. Looking at these factors together provides a far more reliable assessment than relying on appearance alone. Quite often, these simple checks identify the real cause of reduced workability and prevent an expensive mistake before it becomes part of the finished structure. Ultimately, good concrete inspection is not just about identifying defects. It's about preventing them. Sometimes, preventing a major durability problem begins with having the confidence to say, "No, we're not adding water."
Everything looks good on this ticket. You are authorized to discharge.
Have you ever encountered unauthorized water being added to concrete on site? If so, how was the situation managed? We'd love to hear about your experience, the challenges you faced, and the lessons you learned. Thank you for listening to the GCO podcast. If you found today's episode useful, please subscribe GCO podcast so you don't miss future discussions on concrete construction, inspection, and engineering best practice. This episode is adopted from the Concrete Placement Inspector, or CPI, training program developed by GCO Academy, where practical site knowledge and inspection skills are brought together to help construction professionals deliver safer, higher quality concrete structures. Until next time, remember this. A bucket of water may save a few minutes during placement, but protecting the designed water-to-cement ratio helps protect the structure for decades. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.